In this video, converting this electric car seat to work in your house. So it's not totally uncommon to find a car seat in a DIY sim setup. They're cheap to find. In fact, I got this one off Marketplace or Facebook Marketplace. I risked my life to drive into the depths of Torbay to get this out of someone's garage for $50. It's from a 2007 Subaru Legacy. It's got airbags, which is a bit of a worry, but we'll try and avoid that. But the difference between other seats and this one is it's electric. So you might be able to find an electric one which moves back and forth and up and down like this does, and you want to know how to power it safely. So in this video we'll go over trying to hook it up so it's safe and doesn't catch your house on fire and still functions properly. So the first hurdle to get over is powering the seat. So the seat is used to sitting in a car having 50 amps and 12 volts on tap, no problem. But it's hard getting that sort of power out of just a regular wall power supply. But if you've been gaming for a while, you've probably already got the solution sitting in storage. If you're anything like me, you've got an old PDM4 or something sitting out in your shed, and inside that it's got a power supply, and usually they're pretty powerful. This one, for example, has got 16 amps on tap at 12 volts. So I'm not saying that it's going to be enough, but we'll be able to hook it up and just see if it works. I brought this breakout board. By no means you need to get one of these. There's dozens of videos on the internet that shows you how to hook up power supplies from computers and use them as desktop supplies, but this one comes with the fuses, comes with the switches. There's minimum fuss for me. I just can hook it up and get up and running. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly hook the seat up and see if we can get it to start moving at least, and then move on to getting it mounted. So here we're at the business end of the seat. We've got three motors, this one here, which tilt the seat back or front or up or down, and on the front which moves these rails, so it moves the seat back and forward. I don't have the rails themselves, I've only got the bolt holes so I can open something up to get that to work, if this actually works. We've got three plugs, or four plugs actually. This seems to go to the motor and goes up to a switch at the top. I was hoping there's going to be some sort of controller in there to detect the travel, but it looks like it's just a dumb switch. It's a pretty stupid seat. This one here is just for the seat belt. Not really worried about that, so we can remove it. This one here we've got for the airbag, I think, so we'll just not deal with that one at all. And just at the front here we've got it looks like some sort of encoder, so you can notice how far back the seat is. And I'm not really going to get involved with that because this adds too much complexity. I might have to work out some other way if I can't stop it from travelling. So what will happen is, if we push the button all the way to one end, the motor will get stalled in current, and it could be more than what our power supply can supply, and the fuse will blow, and it'll be a real pain, but we don't know what that is yet. So what I've just done is I've just to see if it works anyway, because potentially there is a controller in here that needs a specific set of power. I've just rudimentarily hooked up some wires. I'm going to plug it into this power connector and just see if it works. So I've got my breakout board all hooked up here and powered on. Strangely, the fuses on this board are only 5 amps. I don't know why. Perhaps a restriction of this board can only handle 5 amps. I doubt it. There's tons of copper on the back of it. They're definitely not going to be strong enough for the seat, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. So it looks like it's going to work okay, but let's see what happens when we drive the seat all the way to one end, and what happens to this fuse. So it's drawing far too much current for 5 amps, but we've got a way around that by putting a bigger fuse in it. But for some reason, this particular size of fuse in New Zealand is rare as hen's teeth. So I've gone for a plan B. So here's our plan B. We've got an automotive 15 amp fuse here. They're like $1 each, and they're really easy to get hold of. This is all 15 amp wiring. So it's important to make sure you don't have a fire. You've got all the properly rated cables. So it's 15 amp wiring. The power supply is rated to 16 amps. I've got a 15 amp fuse. I bypassed the fuse on here because that's obviously not going to work for us, and transferred to the cable. So fingers crossed this will work, otherwise we have to move on to a plan C. So it looks like we're all up and running with the seat. We're just going to make a frame for it all to sit into now, and I just got this stuff from the hardware store, and it's called dunnage, and it's just the bits of wood that go between the bits of wood that they try and sell. It's either going to be free, or here I just got $1 a post, so I got 4 posts, $4, and it's solid as, so it's going to be strong enough. and it's got this gallery in the middle, which is great because I'm going to put some rollers in there for the seat to roll on, because I haven't got the rails for this particular seat. So here we go, it's all up and running. It's on a pretty substantial stand, which is perfect width for the rest of the rig to go on the front, and it does everything it's supposed to, and it takes weight I've set in it, it works, it's perfectly fine. So nothing's getting hot back there. So the key points is you got to use the proper gauge wires and fuses. Don't try and bypass the fuse or use speaker wire, because you'll only find out with the fire that something's not gone quite right. If you made it this far, you should definitely subscribe here, and if you want all the parts that I used in this project with the breakout board and the fuse holder, you can get it from my shop here. Thanks for watching.